This insane base jump record attempt goes horribly wrong. Valery Rozov was the first person to base jump from the summit of Shivling, a 6,543-meter mountain in the Indian Himalayas. He also climbed Africa's highest mountain, Mount Kilimanjaro, 5,895 meters, jumping from the top of the Western Breach Wall, 5,460 meters, as part of the Seven Peaks Challenge. The question is, what went wrong with the high leap that caused the death of this legend? Base jumping is not for the faint of heart. This extreme sport includes sportsmen ascending to the tops of huge buildings, canyons, or other structures, leaping off, enjoying a free fall, and then releasing a parachute and coasting back to Earth. Born on December 26, 1964, in Nizhny Novgorod, Russia, Valery Rozov began merging his love of mountaineering with the wingsuit after becoming a double skydiving world champion. Over the years, he performed a series of amazing jumps from beautiful peaks at increasingly high altitudes. During an interview, Rozov discussed how his passion for adventure began with rock climbing and then progressed to mountaineering and even flying. But skydiving became his actual passion, and he dropped everything else to spend as much time as possible in the air. What's cool is that wingsuit jumping combines two of my favorite activities, climbing and skydiving. And if you're base jumping, there's no need to climb back down the mountain on foot, he said. It goes without saying that Rozov was an exceptionally skilled alpinist, having climbed on all continents and often up difficult new lines before floating back down to the valley floor. He first learned about wingsuit flying in the early 2000s. This revolutionary sport enabled him to glide through the air like a bird, utilizing cloth wings sewn onto his jumpsuit. Rozov was part of a Russian expedition to Baffin Island in Canada in 2002, when the Rubicon route was constructed up Great Sail Peak before flying back down to base camp in a matter of seconds. He was observing transporting all of his own kit to the top of each peak he jumped, which could take up to a month. In 2003, he climbed the central pillar of Nalamassortok in Greenland using the new route one-way ticket, which gave him 35 seconds of free flight before opening his chute. And in 2004, he helped establish the Russian route of Pakistan's complex west face of Aman Brak before opening his wingsuit at 5,500 meters. In early 2007, Rozov traveled to Patagonia to follow Chris Bonington and Don Williams' British plans before diving over the central tower of the Payne Towers. The wingsuit flyer was sponsored by Red Bull in 2004. The company said about him, Valery Rozov has been a member of the Red Bull family since 2004. The Russian received international recognition as a highly professional athlete and aerial adventurer who tirelessly set himself against increasingly difficult goals. In 2008, Rozov accomplished the first base jump from Cerro Torre wearing a wingsuit. A year later, in 2009, Rozov leaped from an active volcano onto a glacier in Russia's Kamchatka Peninsula in the Far East. The next year, he became the first person to climb the base jump from Antarctica's Olvatana Peak, which stands 2,931 meters, 9,616 feet. 2 years later, in 2012, the athlete accomplished the first base jump from the peak of Shivling at a height of 6,420 meters, 21,060 feet, while wearing a wingsuit. He broke the world record for the highest base jump in May 2013 at the age of 48 on the 60th anniversary of Mount Everest's first climb. He jumped from Changsi, a mountain on Mount Everest, at an altitude of 23,687 feet, following a 4-day climb to the jumping point. The temperatures were at 0 degrees Fahrenheit. He soared for about a minute at speeds of roughly 125 miles per hour, 200 kilometers, before landing safely on a glacier. Only when I got back home did I see how hard it was for me both physically and psychologically, Rozov remarked afterwards, according to Red Bull's blog. Valery made the world's highest base jump in 2013, jumping from 7,220 meters on Changsi and landing on the central Rongbuk Glacier at the foot of Mount Everest North Face. Then, on October 5, 2016, he shattered his own record by leaping from a height of 25,262 feet on Mount Sho-Oyu, which is on the border of China and Nepal. He opened his parachute after 90 seconds of free fall. The daredevil was successful in completing all his records, but it seems like fate had other plans for him. On Saturday, November 11, 2017, the free-falling legend took his last flight. The 52-year-old athlete perished in a base jumping mishap while leaping from Ama Dablam, a 22,349-foot-high mountain in eastern Nepal's Himalayas, expedition organizers said Sunday. His jump was planned by the entire team, covering every single detail about the weather, as well as studying map trajectories and checking equipment. The incident's circumstances are yet unknown, although AFP stated that Rozov was on a 7 summits quest. He wanted to base jump from the highest mountain on each of the 7 continents. According to the Himalayan Times, Rozov collided with the hill when leaping from the mountain in a wingsuit. There remains a controversy that the accident happened due to a fault in the given equipment, but again, this is not proved, just a theory. According to investigators, an unforeseen critical issue emerged with his equipment at the time of flight that caused his death. The jump began smoothly, but soon the team realized something was wrong. Migma Gelu Sherpa of the 7 Summits Club, which arranged the expedition, told the Himalayan Times that a helicopter rescue crew retrieved his body on Sunday morning and airlifted it to Kathmandu. Valery will always remain in our memory, strong in spirit, professional, modest, full of energy, an eternal dreamer who was forever burning with new ideas and projects. We express our deepest condolences to Valery's wife and sons, whom he loved and valued very much, said Red Bull. On Facebook, a fan named Mitch Potter expressed his tremendous appreciation for Rozov, stating he respected him not because he jumped off tall mountains in a bunch of nylon, that's the easy part, but because he took action to pursue flight where others have not. At 52 years old, he still put one foot in front of the other tirelessly up mountains that continuously ranked amongst the highest in the world, Potter narrated. The flying is the part that always gets mass attention, but there is so many failures that aren't on camera, which go into just one of the many missions that Valery repeated over and over again. Death-defying activities such as wingsuit flying have been the subject of some debate over the years, simply because death isn't always defied and things can go wrong. These pursuits are inherently risky and sensational. These sports have grown in popularity in recent years, and an increasing number of people have had to acknowledge the importance and reality of their inherent dangers. Athletes like Rozov, of course, risk their lives. When these gambles fail, public interest surges, and emotive and sensationalized reporting has become extremely typical. In general, dramatic descriptions of catastrophes like this one are much more extensively read and circulated than the day-to-day success stories that make these sports popular. Valery Rozov's legacy goes well beyond his life. He inspired a generation of wingsuit flyers, pushed the limits of human flight, and reminded us that life is precious and short. Rozov's skybound life exemplifies human curiosity and the desire for adventure. His tale will continue to rise, pushing us to live life to its greatest potential. It is critical that we do not define or condemn Rozov's entire aerial career based on this single episode, but rather celebrate his greatest achievements in the sport he loved. The predicted fatality rate is 43 per 100,000 jumps, which is much higher than skydiving. Any other jumpers have lost their lives during this sport. Would you rather try a fatal sport like this, or just chill in front of the screen and watch my videos? I think you should go with option number 2. Do you want to see more like this? Then click on the video you are seeing on your screen now, and hit that subscribe button. Give a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video, and as always, your feedback in the comment section will be appreciated.